Josh here, coming at you from North Philadelphia. About 4 o'clock in the morning, doing my trash before I get ready for work and stuff like that. I was listening to some influencers, TikTokers, and whatnot. They said, hey, you gotta get on and start recording yourself and start sharing your story. Blah, 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 blah. You've been through it. You've done made through it. You done did it for yourself. You done better be proud of yourself. Yeah. So I figured, hey, you know what? I've been through some shit. I've seen some shit. And I'd love to share it with you guys. So, if I may, I'm gonna start this one off with something that we all deal with. An emotion that, if we call it an emotion, feeling a ball and chain, we all experience, and it's called shame. And it's something that, I'm sure we're all I'm walking through the hallways in my apartment. I don't want to wake up my neighbors. But it's something that I'm sure we're all very intimate with to an extent. And I felt it important to sort of, I forgot to throw this out. To sort of give you my take on it, my experience with it. So, I see shame as an energy, right? Shame is this energy, right? And it floats around. And when it finds a match, when it finds and I hate using these buzzwords because how many times do you have to hear the same word before you start to become desensitized to that term? So instead of it becoming a vibrational match, this shame, it circulates in the air, whether that be through conversation, through collective unconsciousness, through memory, through any of that. And as it's circulating, it is consciously, if you were to personify it, it's consciously looking for something to attach itself to. Something to attach itself to that will grow, that will foster its growth, kind of like a parasite or something that needs a warm, cold, moist place to survive, like that kind of thing. Or like what's the other one? Or like a narcissist. If you were to personify the feeling of shame, a narcissist is shame incarnate. So we've got these feelings. Shame is the one that we're highlighting right now. And the main problem with that emotion is that it's built on a fallacy. It's built on a lie that you believe that you are not already inside of, part of, and embodying God itself, creation itself. So as you truck along, find yourself running into this emotion, and you don't know what to do, and you end up lashing out at your closest loved ones, and you end up lashing out at your friends, all kinds of shit. You inevitably breed more of a habitat for that shame to survive and thrive. When you become aware of this, this is where shit can get sticky, is that you may end up finding that you are in relationships with people, not just romantically, but emotionally as well, like in familial relationships, anything, literally any type, coworkers, whatever. And you'll find that whether it's conscious or unconscious, you'll find that these people who are a part of these relationships with you, who are the counterparts to your relationship, they embody an energy of, not of shame, but of the accuser, of what I think they call Satan the accuser, right? And like a religious terminology. So they embody that energy when they are feeling threatened themselves, when they are also feeling defensive, when they are also feeling like they do not fulfill the ideal image that they had hoped to fulfill. So you've got this inner tug of war going on between both parties, and it becomes a point where you want to see who can cause who more shame. And that's often the downfall of many relationships. And I'll speak from experience when I say that I am not exempt from this unfortunate dynamic. However, it is a part of human nature, and it is important to be aware of, because as time progresses and as we age, we need to master our emotions. We can look at our chakras as energy centers. I like to look at them as emotions as well, because if we can truly align with a calm, peaceful state of awareness and understanding, then we become untouchable to shame. We don't need to be or think of ourselves as superior to anyone else in order to embody the energy that would allow us to feel confident and powerful and vitality and whatever. We don't need that, but in bringing others down, we temporarily do achieve that brief feeling, followed by a repetitive cycle of a need to do it again, because that brief feeling is not satisfying the urge we have inside, because the urge we have inside is not to cause the other person shame. That is the external urge. That is the urge that is on the outside, deceiving us from actually addressing the issue with the person that we are communicating with. So when that happens, the best thing to do is to step back and try to have the conversation at another time. But until then, it's important that we maintain awareness of the destructive capabilities of shame, and how it breeds in itself, how it knows no boundaries, and how there is no end point. You will never reach a point in your life where you have achieved enough of anything to avoid these emotions, aside from personal internal work and personal internal mastery. Aside from those two things, you'll never be able to escape shame. I mean, it's just the sad truth. And I personally I've lived in Israel. I've pursued different religious perspectives, from the Hare Krishnas back when I was an undergraduate, to almost becoming an ultra Orthodox Jew in Israel back in like 2020, or no, 2019, 2019. And I've noticed that no matter where I go, the people that I encounter are all still suffering from the same things. And the reason is because they're not addressing the issue. And the reason they're not addressing the issue is because to address the issue is to cure the disease. And to cure the disease is to remove the need for the doctor. So now I'm speaking on multiple levels here. But basically, we create our systems of frustration and imbalance, and we create these jobs, these meaningless, not meaningless, but they can be, and we create them out of frivolous desires, and that's going off on another tangent. But the reason that I am making this video is about shame, so I'm going to bring it back to that. And that is that when we are feeling shame and we try to make someone else feel shame, we feel more shame. In order to avoid that, we need to master our own emotions and master our own ability to regulate our emotions so that we do not project onto others. But the flip side of that, which I struggle with greatly, and I think that a lot of fellow empaths might as well, and that is, it's very difficult to not accept whatever shame is thrown on you by somebody that you truly love. Because if you truly love that person, then you think that, oh, if I accept this shame, I'm going to make them feel better. And temporarily, they may show you that they do feel better. But they don't. It's never enough. So, yeah. It is best not to be a martyr. That is the final point I have for this entire shtick is don't be a martyr. And that can be difficult. And if you need assistance with that, you can reach out. If you would like to hear some practical advice, aside from stepping back, I would suggest, anything, man, anything. Just whatever it takes to avoid the ping pong match and the self-deprecation and the martyr syndrome. Because at the end of the day, if you accept the shame of other people, you are going to also be accepting their internal conscious struggles. And by accepting those things that are not yours, you're going to feel rage. And that's a perfect place to stop, because that could be our next emotion. I picked up this phone 15 minutes ago to start filming and had no idea what I was going to talk about. And then I was like, oh, feelings are good. And I was like, shame is good. And shame just led into rage. So our next feeling is going to be rage. Have an awesome day.